I want everybody to say, talk to me then, what? 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 Lay, talk to me then, what? Talk to me then, what?
Welcome, people. So as you can see today, I'm not smoking shisha today. Why? Well, if you watched the first episode, you'll know why. Right. So this one I really couldn't ignore because there's a couple of things that made me ask myself a lot of things. Like there's a lot of things that I actually asked myself. So we all know what happened this week, right? Our very humble, our very courageous, our very, I can't think of another word. There's a word that I actually want to use, but I can't think of it. And I don't like it when I can't think of words when they're actually going to explain everything that I want to say in just one word. But it's fine. It's not going to stop me from sharing my 2 cents on this particular thing. So, our very humble and courageous president was in the US and he met with the very brave, the very courageous president of the US, Donald Trump. And to be quite honest, there's a lot of things that I want to share. A lot of them are irrelevant because I would just make this episode 1 hour long. So I'm just going to touch on a few things. Now, this is the thing about this whole thing, right? This whole event firstly made me think of something that is going to apply to a lot of people in this country and in the US. Firstly, who gives a fuck what you think? You've made all these opinions, right? You've made all of these opinions. And for some reason, we have to consider your opinion over others. Who gives a fuck what you think? You seriously think your opinion is going to be considered? Let me not even mention the higher ups, like those government officials that are up there. Even the minor ones are not even going to consider your opinion. Yet you sat down, watched the whole thing, have absolutely no idea how you're going to cause an effect, maybe some change. Maybe you're going to say something that's going to change anything that happened or that's about to happen after that meeting. Yet you sat down and told us all of your thoughts. That no, the president didn't do this, or the president of the US didn't do that. It's unfair that this happened. Who gives a fuck what you think? Who? You seriously think your opinion matters that much? Like, why don't you try to be important first? So that at least when you say something, we'll all sit down and think, that's a very good point. And it reaches the right people so that they can at least bring you to the table. Your opinion matters that much? You sat down, and however long that meeting was, you thought to yourself, oh, I know who's going to consider my opinion valuable. Nobody cares what you think. The fact that you think that this whole thing is being done by these people, you know what I mean? These people, I mean both the presidents. You think whatever discussions they have afterwards, something's going to happen. No. If you don't believe, if you believe that the news is real, like genuinely, then I can't even imagine a sentence or a word that I can say to you that would make you think that, listen, you know what? Everything that I believed is not true. There are people higher, more powerful than the presidents and all those people who were in the White House. They just, so that was the first thing. I'm thinking to myself, I'm going on Facebook, I'm going on Instagram, I'm going on X, I'm going on TikTok, and all these people are sharing their opinions. I'm thinking to, and I'm looking at these people like, I'm not watching this thing. I do have some opinions just based off the clips that I saw of this meeting. I have my opinions on this meeting, and unfortunately, they're going to be kind of controversial because, first of all, I know there's going to be some people who are going to hate me for this just because of the mindset of the whole thing, right? And before I make this opinion of mine, before I share this opinion of mine, I'm going to say I am really not interested, or no, sorry, I am not as invested in politics as I am, let's just say, supposed to be. You know, I'm not obviously going to ignore everything that's happening, because if you ignore politics, like you just completely ignore it, that means you don't care about the future of your country, right? So, see, already I'm contradicting myself just by saying that. I first I made a rant on people who just watch the whole thing and think their opinions are that valuable. But first of all, now that I've shared that, I'm not as invested in politics. I'm just noticing and I'm watching everything. But I'm not that invested, like now we have to go on a debate or something. No, no. But I do understand a few things. First of all, I respect Trump. I respect Trump. I actually like Trump. Now, I don't agree with everything that he says or the things that he supports. I don't agree with every single thing. But I do respect and like the man because he's brave. He's brave. And to be quite honest, without mentioning any any gender, just being a leader means that you have to be brave. So if you have that trait with you, if you are brave, then yeah, you can be in this position. So if you're not brave, then I don't understand why are you even in that position. So Trump is brave, right? He stands for everything that he stands for. He believes in what he believes in. and he makes sure that you understand that. Now, what about our president? See, my opinions on our president are they keep changing. They keep changing. And the reason why they keep changing is because, like, the guy is many things. It's like he can't decide what he wants to be. At one stage, he's relentless. Another stage, like it's just different. It's just different. Sometimes he's relentless, sometimes he's calm, sometimes he's humble. Just decide what type of person you want to be. You don't have to adapt to every single thing. Like, at least be consistent in one thing. That's the first thing. Secondly, I don't like the guy, man. I mean, I must say though, he handled the pressure quite well. I mean, it's not easy dealing with a brave person if you are not brave yourself, because you could obviously tell who was kind of running the whole thing. You know, if it were other presidents, you wouldn't notice who's running the whole thing. Obviously, if you consider the fact that they were in the White House, of course you'd end up saying, no, Trump runs the whole thing. But there are some conversations or meetings, and you would notice that you're not even able to tell who's running the whole thing. You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't know if this person has the higher position or this person has the higher position. Like, it's either they're on the same level during the meeting. Like, no one has the last word. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. But there's this whole thing. And in this meeting, you could just instantly tell that one was higher than the other. Even if this meeting was happening in South Africa, you would still be able to tell that although he's in South Africa, but he's still running this whole meeting. So that's another thing I didn't like. I mean, couldn't you at least try to stand for something? I mean, he defended himself, and he defended some people and some things. He managed to defend it, but I mean, I feel like he could have handled it better. Which leads me back to the point of being brave. Like, if you are brave, you stand for something. Like, you just, boom. Even if I'm wrong, I'm standing by it. Not just being humble, no, man. Right? So, another thing, right? I am not really... This whole genocide thing that's happening, my opinion in that is, let's just stop killing. Let's just stop killing. Just stop that. Because at the end of the day, you can consider both sides of the spectrum. This side will think they're right and this side will think they're right. Obviously, there's the truth. But in most cases, the truth is never considered. It just goes down to, since there's two sides, which side will beat the other side? And whoever beats the other one is the one who's right. Same thing as if I was to get in a fight with someone and they say 1 + 1 = 2, and I say 1 + 1 = 3. If I beat that person, then 1 + 1 = 3. even if the logic says 1 + 1 = 2, he wasn't able to defend his point. So now 1 + 1 = 3 from now onwards, just because I beat him. Now I'm not encouraging fighting, just like I'm not encouraging killing. Can killing just stop? First of all, we are not overpopulated. I think you guys know that now. We are not overpopulated. We are not. That's the first thing. Just stop killing, right? And then if this thing needs to be talked about, let's just talk about it. Obviously, this is going to lead me to something that I actually was going to share on a different episode, but now I feel like I'm going to share it on this episode because it's going to make you understand the type of person I am and the type of person and the type of things I believe in. I personally think South Africa needs to go back to having a dictator. Remove all this government things. Let's just get rid of government and operate like all the dictators, the countries that have dictators, kings. Because people think that when they're voting for someone, like we have a choice on who is supposed to be in charge. So if you are invested in politics that much, you should know that the fact that the previous the US president was in charge, if you paid attention, you would have told yourself or thought to yourself that there's something fishy about it. You're not going to jump into that, but just wanted to point that out. So the fact that you think that this in South Africa for some reason is not rigged somehow, then it just shows that you can say you invested in politics, but you're not paying attention to what's happening. We don't have a choice on who gets to be the president. We don't have a choice. So, but what I wanted to say is, with dictators, once they say something, we follow. There's no talking, meetings, or we're going to talk about this, or we're going to have to set an appointment or set a meeting. There's no meetings. Even after those meetings, nothing happens. So I think we should go back to having dictators. Yeah, because once he or she, because whoever gets to be the dictator, right? We follow what they say. Simple and straightforward. No meetings, nothing. Because meetings don't get us anywhere. Action is more important and more impactful than words, because you're just sitting and talking. And sometimes whoever gets to make the decision or has the final word, the final say of the whole thing, if he or she already knows what he or she wants, then why are you having that meeting? Why are you having the meeting? So this is the thing that I personally have against countries that are run by governments. Meetings, briefings. And the person who has the final say either already knows what's going to happen or has been told by someone who's higher than them, or some people or some group that's higher than them, that whatever happens, this is what's going to happen. Whether you tell them or not, it's up to you, but this is what's going to happen. So you seriously think that having meetings and briefings are going to well, like what's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? At work, some meetings you would just sit there and think to yourself, right, we're talking for an hour, but this person, CEO or whoever has the final say in the company, if they're present in the meeting, if they already know what's going to happen, they are just, for the sake of reporting back to whoever they have to report to, they're going to have this meeting, hoping that whatever conclusion was made aligns with the decision that the decision maker wants to make, right? So if it aligns, then everything is smooth, perfect. But if the opposite happens, then it's just brute force. No, this is what's gonna happen. Whether he or she puts it mildly or not, that's not important. What's important is what he or she says goes. So why have meetings in the first place? Why? So it's the same thing. Why are we having meetings if the decision maker already has made a decision based on whatever the subject is? With a dictator, this is what's going to happen. Let's do it. Boom. That's it. That is why right now not the whole of Middle East, but that is why the UAE and Dubai are successful as they are currently. Dictator. Look at Swaziland. Look at Swaziland. Smooth, everything, because they're run by a king. No government, there's no meetings. I mean, of course, there is government, but the country is not run by government. So South Africa needs to go back to having a dictator. Oh, yeah, it has to go back to having a dictator. Because that way, we're cutting all these meetings. That person, whatever they say, goes. And I'm telling you for a fact, dictators, they know for a fact. I'm telling you right now, they wouldn't be encouraging this genocide, this killing. It wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen. I mean, even now, Malema just recently spoke defending his statement, or song rather. He defended. Now what's going to happen? What's going to happen? But to summarize this whole thing, nobody gives a shit what you think about. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I know there's some people who are not going to care what I say. That's fine. The fact that you got so far, well, it means that you do care. But I want you to actually think about it, like when you sit down, like I'm not saying don't pay attention to what's happening. Do pay attention, but don't be so invested now to the point where I'm not even gonna. I don't support any party for that matter. I just pay attention, and since at the moment I can't say anything that's gonna, cause an effect, that's gonna either positively or negatively impact whatever's happening. I just pay attention and try to align with whatever's happening. If inflation is rising, I try to, whatever's happening, I try to align myself. That's what I would suggest you do. Because really, whatever you say won't even reach. Let me not even say that, let me not even mention the decision maker. It won't even reach his board, his team. It won't even, So what makes you think you speaking? What makes you think we're going to care about what you say? And besides, it's the whole thing of us just being entertained. Since this is what's happening, they're playing us, they're playing us, they're playing us. We're clowns. This is all entertainment. Wasting time. We don't have time. But those are the 2 cents.
I want everybody to say, talk to me then, what? Talk to me then, what? Say to me then.